What's up, fam? Welcome back to the Wonderlicks.
Hi guys.
Today we're in Frazee, Minnesota. We're at Jesse and Charlotte's house, and we're gonna give you guys a tour of his recently done theater room.
We already tried this once, and it's on my channel, but it's the only video on the channel, and it was horrible. So don't go and watch that. Only watch this one.
You guys can share and subscribe, show your friends, and we're gonna give you more of like an in-depth tour of what all went into creating the theater room. Let's get to it.
Take one. We're gonna go check out my theater room. I really wish I could watch a movie right now.
Oh my gosh, Jesse.
Here it is.
This is, you want to put this on our channel?
No,
there's
I
not
just have to remember where I put it again.
Isn't the theater room supposed to be down here?
Yeah, it was. Tell you what, we're gonna do a little kick on this here bookshelf.
What?
My first attempt at a hidden door, also called a Murphy door. That's the big brand name that everybody looks at. But a Murphy door standard, like unfinished, is like $1,200 by itself. So I decided, you know, I could probably build one of those things, and not to toot my own horn, but I got it right on the first try. I can't take any credit for the painting. Charlotte did that, my beautiful wife. A lot of people put the jigs on it. I did make another one, that's in a separate video. They put the jigs on it and put the little holes in there for the little shelf pins, and you can move those and whatnot, but mine are all stationary. The weight limit for these is technically around 350 pounds. The only thing that I actually, I couldn't do myself was the latches. So the latch and the hinges come from Murphy door. I actually got those just because it makes the whole overall build much easier. And then I do finished carpentry myself, so it's a little easier for me to put this stuff together. I can build bookshelves all day. This is fairly simple. Just a little farm door handle to put on the back. Very nice for when you're kind of closing it, because it is a pretty solid door. It feels like a vault door. And then of course I got the peel and stick. These are just really easy, just sound deafening materials, acoustic paneling. It really made a difference. If you look at the wall, you can kind of tell I didn't do any gloss, I didn't do any texture, nothing like that. So it's basically made to be a theater room. That's what it's made for. The color palette actually came from Behr paint. The paint didn't come from Behr, it came from Hirschfield's out in Detroit Lakes. Great customer service, by the way. Basically the palette is a dark gray, like a mocha cherry in the background, and then the ceiling is black. You gotta stay dark with the whole theater room ambiance, because it's much easier to watch movies without any sort of glare and whatnot off of brighter colors. The carpet I just kept as it is. This was in here before and it matches well. If you want to see any part of a theater room in the dark, it's definitely the floor, so that you're not tripping over stuff or running into anything. I did put up crown molding, and it's funny, I originally didn't see the crown molding when I turned the lights on, because I had these bulbs. Originally I had these what's called BR30 bulbs, and those were hunched up into these casings, and so they were designed to put lights straight down instead of outward. And so I got the BR40s that bulge out a little more, and now you can actually see the crown molding. And I was like, what the heck did I put crown molding up for if I can't even see it? So I made sure of that. This bar I built custom myself. I'm sure Janie will put in pictures and whatnot to kind of show the overall from A to B type of deal. But yeah, I built the bar, and this is just a half, partition wall. It's studded the same way as it would be if it were a full wall. I did run electrical. I ran all the electrical in this room. There's one in there for the mini fridge. It's not on right now, but I had to put a mini fridge in here, and then...
Yep, so we're just, yep.
All the furniture in here came from Wayfair. Really easy, just, since it was carpet, I didn't want to get the bar stools that had the 4 pegs on them, so I just got the one round leg, because it's easier to move around on carpet without wrecking everything. Same thing with the couches. So these are actually pretty neat. The couches, they aren't set up together, right? So it's just kind of, you can move them around whatever you need to. But since it's on carpet, they're not really going anywhere. I mean, each of these is probably 100 or so pounds a piece. And then in case you got anybody like me and my wife that like to, you know, sit really close together. we've got love seat portions too, and then of course
Yeah, two of them. One
yep.
there, one there.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
So, and then table trays that can kind of move in between, go wherever you want them to. If I can get it in there. There we go.
It's really nifty.
Yes, very nifty. And of course, we had to make sure that they reclined.
Woo!
Very
Just
good stuff.
more bougie than like a cinema.
Yeah,
theater.
The big thing is everybody doesn't know that it's really cheap to do if you know how to do it. The labor is what cost everybody an arm and a leg. This stuff was all fairly cheap to put in. I didn't spend all that much. I put a lot of math into this room too. There's a lot of science behind theater rooms. Basically, the TV, the way that you want to structure how far away it is from a TV is you take the diagonal length of whatever TV you're getting. So this one is 75 inches. So if you multiply that by 1.5 and 2.5, that's your area of watching, essentially. 1.5 lies right on the front of here. So if you want a more immersive experience, you'll sit in the front. And 2.5 lands all the way back here, right where the benches are for the bar stools for the bar. So it's perfectly set up for that, and then all of the speakers themselves are geared toward the king's chair, which is right here. So the most immersive experience would be right from here. So any sort of surround sound is going to sound the best right here. But I averaged out where I placed the speakers to make sure that it still sounded, it averaged the quality of sound across the 12 seats that are in here. Don't judge my seams too hard. The riser I built at 6 inches high. So basically we've got 20 inches standard here, and then 26 inches, and then bar stool height is 30 inches. I placed the TV high enough so that everybody could see without having to worry about looking over at people's heads and whatnot. So it's completely unobstructed when you're actually watching the deal anyway. A lot of people wouldn't plug or put their fans into the whole tour deal, but this is a basement. Normally you would have an 8-foot ceiling in a basement, but mine is just shy of that. So I've got about, I think it's a 7'9" ceiling, and that a few inches doesn't make all that big of a difference, but when you're trying to build a riser alongside of keep a fan in here for airflow, I mean, it's pretty tough. So I had to find a fan that was the most snug that I could find while still keeping it a sort of black finish. And I was going to do matte so that it wasn't shiny, so that the reflection from the light of the TV wouldn't jump off of it. But I decided that it's probably a better idea to find a gloss finish on these as well, because you're going to, just like the floor, you're going to want to see this thing when you're walking. Because I'm 6'2", and I'm standing right here. And when I'm standing, it's like right below here. So anybody taller than me might have a little bit of an issue getting up and down. You got to be careful.
I won't.
So now the actual bread and butter of the whole deal, the visuals and the sound, because that's your big stuff right here. I went with the Klipsch reference system. These are awesome because you don't have to wire all of the Dolby Atmos speakers in. They actually have drivers on the tops that shoot up and use your drywall as a speaker, essentially. Like it shoots the waves up there and it bounces down, a whole bunch of science. There's also, in terms of echo, these acoustic panels really help out, but there's not a lot of people know that there's actually places to put these. This is what's called the first point of reflection. So when the sound waves come out of the speakers, you want to make sure that the first place they hit the wall, that it's going to be canceled out. Because if they do hit the wall and they bounce back, then there's going to be a whole lot of scientific stuff going on where waves are canceling each other out or amplifying, and it just distorts the sound just a little bit. If you can see, if you pan across the wall here, I've made it so that every single panel matches up and up. So the back is ear level with the bar stools, and then this one is ear level with this, and this is ear level with that. Well, around 2/3 of the entire surface, well, 1/3 to 2/3 of the surface area of the walls is what you want to go for when you're going for acoustic paneling. This is a Hisense U8K. It's basically their higher end gaming TV, and Hisense is only, I mean, it's been around for a bit, but a lot of people used to look at it as like a lower end brand, but now they're actually really getting into the game and they're pushing out some really good product. I like to enjoy games from time to time. I am kind of a PC gamer, but I do enjoy coming down here and actually sitting down and using a controller like the old ways. So I got myself an Xbox Series X, and if you're a gamer, you'll know that 4K at 120 hertz is much better than anything that pushes 60 hertz. So this TV is actually capable of running 4K at 120 hertz, and that is one of the reasons that I looked into it. I can play at the maximum frame rate that this Xbox allows on here, which is absolutely beautiful. I will admit, I was sleeping on Fire TV for quite a long, or on Apple TV for quite a long time, because I had a Fire TV, and now that I've had, I mean, I've had Apple products for a while, and that is so, the continuity between this and the Apple products is just beautiful. Like, you don't even have to use the Apple remote that comes with it. You just use your phone, and it's basically like a glorified phone screen up there, but it's absolutely beautiful, absolutely awesome. Would recommend it 100% over a Fire TV. That is an Onkyo 7100, I believe. I originally got a 7-channel and was gonna not worry about the 2 height channels in the back. I know a lot of people aren't gonna know what that means, but basically the amount of speakers you have is the amount of channels that you want, right? On top of the subwoofer over here. This is a 9-channel, which means that we've got our center channel, our 2 front channels, our 2 back channels, and then there's 4 height channels, 1 for each of those. So that's 9 total. And then it has 2 subwoofer ins too, so we just put 1 in there because this room is way too big for, or way too small for 2 subwoofers. So that was an awesome purchase. We'll definitely I definitely recommend them. They have a setting that actually goes with the Klipsch reference system as well, which is absolutely awesome. So it kind of calibrates itself. And then we'll go ahead and shut the lights off and kind of show you guys the lighting effects in the background. So we'll see if the camera works, but this is kind of a calibration for either the Philips Hue or the Govee. I went with the Govee because they seem to be a little bit more robust now. As you can see, this camera up here, this calibration camera, is watching all the edges of the TV and blasting that color further out from behind the TV. So one thing that I haven't put up yet that I am definitely going to, these are bass traps. Subwoofers work a different way because bass is they call it non-directional waves. So basically what they're gonna do is go all over the place, and they're gonna bunch up in the corners a bunch and kind of distort the bass a little bit. So these are gonna help with, I've got a few more of them, they're gonna go almost all the way up the wall, but you just put them in the corners and it stops that bass from getting all funky. One more thing that I wish I would have done, and this is for anybody trying to build them, the crown molding, I really wish I would have put it 4 to 6 inches lower and then painted the same color as the ceiling on that gap there and then laid rope lights in it, because that would have been quite the big difference in terms of theater room aesthetics.
So we got the fam, well, a few of us. Hello, Dewey. And we're gonna finish out the night and watch Paddington.
A great family fun movie.
In this beautiful theater room. Be there to build you a theater room. Get yourself a theater room. Right, Dewey, you say bye-bye. Say, my dad built this theater room.
Dad built this theater room.